were yelling and screaming at each other, correct? And you were doing that. Did your spit come out of your mouth and go onto Imani Ellis?
I don't think so, no.
Cardi B's
controversy surrounding Cardi B's trial has now taken a more sinister turn. According to recent accounts, the rapper passed out in court upon hearing the decision. What impact will the punishment have on her career, and how harsh was it? Let's dissect it. The Globe was horrified by the stunning allegations. The news of one of rap's realest queens collapsing in court rocked the hip-hop world to its foundation. But let's go back to the beginning before we get into that. In February 2018, when Cardi B was merely attempting to manage her affairs as any expectant mother would, the entire situation began. Cardi arrived at Dr. David Frink's Beverly Hills clinic for a standard prenatal exam when she was 4 months along with baby culture. The Bronx beauty was smartly moving, keeping low-key with a wig and hoodie since she was aware that fans and paparazzi were always following her, particularly after Bodak Yellow had the streets in a frenzy. However, even when you're attempting to be quiet, the wrong individuals may nonetheless learn about your activities. Cardi B would have to battle for her money and reputation for years to come, as a result of what should have been a straightforward doctor's appointment. A $24 million lawsuit was based on the beef that broke out in less than 2 minutes. And even for someone receiving Grammy money, that isn't pocket change. Imani Ellis, a security guard, was on duty in the building's lobby when she caught a glimpse of the disguised star passing by.
Saw Cardi B, he said something to the effect of, wow, that was Cardi B.
Something to the effect of that.
The document submitted to the Los Angeles County Superior Court in 2020 said that Ellis was ecstatic to encounter one of her favorite rappers and felt compelled to give the celebrity a shout out.
And she said, oh my God, Cardi B's here. So I kind of speed walk, but I feel her behind me.
This version of events, however, describes some blatantly insane actions that followed, leaving her physically and psychologically traumatized and damaged. According to Ellis's account of what happened, Cardi B lost her temper when she was acknowledged. Accusing the pregnant rapper of snitching about her whereabouts and attempting to secretly record her, the security guard claimed that she began to trip hard. However, Ellis claims that the verbal altercation was only the start of what escalated into a physical attack. Ellis made serious accusations against Cardi B in court. We are discussing grave charges that would have resulted in career termination and incarceration in the county. Cardi B got all up in her face with her finger, started using racial slurs, including dropping on-bombas, talked crazy about her weight, spit on her, started swinging, and started scratching up her face with some long acrylic nails.
You were scratched on your cheek.
She touched my nose, but she scratched my cheek.
Okay, but in the incident report, you say, scratching my nose, right? You have to answer all.
Yes, I'm sorry.
the alleged.
Years later, plastic surgery was necessary to remove the lasting scars caused by the purported scrapes. However, Ellis's claims went much beyond the bodily harm. She claimed that the entire experience left her mentally messed up, resulting in PTSD, anxiety, depression, and sleep issues. As a result, she was forced to change jobs and lose her security position. That type of trauma alters your entire course in life, and Ellis wanted Cardi B to bear the full cost. Ellis dropped the lawsuit in 2020, and the trial in Alhambra, California, finally began in August 2025. The case took a long time to get to court. In 2022, Ellis had to spend $17,500 in reconstructive surgery to address what she claimed were lifelong scars from Cardi B's nails. Cardi B brought the same unadulterated intensity that initially made her famous when she finally had the opportunity to testify on her side of the tale. As she defended herself against some serious claims, the mother of three, who was now separated from Offset and still coping with her own turmoil, gave that genuine Bronx attitude that made the entire courtroom.
You were yelling and screaming at each other, correct? And you were doing that. Did your spit come out of your mouth and go onto Imani Ellis?
I don't think so, no.
Cardi B's argument was straightforward and unassailable. She made sure no hands were flung. For a period, according to the rapper's testimony, the entire incident amounted to little more than a minute of back-and-forth conversation.
And that's when we started arguing.
What did you say?
I was like, you can't do what you want. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like you invading my privacy.
She acknowledged that when she felt degraded, she called Imani Ellis by name, specifically A. However, she categorically denied spitting on anyone, using racial epithets, or touching Ellis in any kind. When Cardi B opened up about her physical state during the incident, it was the most memorable aspect of her testimony. Cardi said that getting physically fit wasn't even feasible because she was only 130 pounds, 4 months pregnant, and 5 feet 3 inches tall.
Listed.
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you the things I can't do?
Fine. What was your disability on February 24th of 2018? What was your disability?
I was pregnant.
When she
Erupted in laughter at her candor as she talked about feeling incapacitated as a result of her pregnancy. However, it also demonstrated her vulnerability as a pregnant woman attempting to defend both herself and her unborn child. Eyewitnesses who witnessed the entire event provided significant support for the defense's case. Ellis was the aggressor in the case. According to testimony from both Dr. David Frink and receptionist Tiara Malcolm claimed that Ellis unintentionally scratched his forehead when he reached over her to reach Cardi B following the claimed incident. Neither witness saw any injuries on Ellis' face, and both witnesses stated they did not observe Cardi B touching Ellis. It quickly became evident that Ellis's case lacked strong proof. The absence of any surveillance footage from any part of the structure was the main issue. Not in the elevator, not in the lobby. Ellis's credibility was severely damaged since, despite both legal teams' requests for video during discovery, there was none to support anyone's claims. Cardi B's team also took advantage of some flaws in the medical data. Despite having papers from her 2022 surgery and pictures of her facial scars, Ellis' account contained significant contradictions that caused some people to doubt her claims. She was involved in vehicle accidents in 2021 and 2023 that would have resulted in similar injuries. Thus, it was concerning that she waited 4 years for surgery, when early reports mentioned a nasal injury rather than cheek scrapes. As B's personality came through in her testimony. The courtroom was filled with lawyers sparring fiercely with one another. While Cardi's legal team presented Ellis as someone looking to quickly grab a quick come up off of a famous person's name and bank account, Ellis's lawyer attempted to depict Cardi B as an entitled star who believed she could do whatever she pleased. Cardi B heavy appeared to be riding the streets during the trial. Fans praised the defense witnesses for being honest and criticized Ellis's accusations as a blatant money grab on social media. Most people believed Cardi B's side of the story because of the narrative that was generated by the contrast between Ellis's unsubstantiated accusations and the consistent testimony of other witnesses who supported Cardi B's version. However, we were able to go into Cardi B's past legal disputes and all the scandals that have followed her from the streets to the penthouse in order to be honest about the entire courtroom drama. A trend of court cases and disputes Cardi B's experience with the judicial system is not new, as seen by the recent assault case. By no means. For years, Cardi has had to deal with lawyers, court dates, and legal turmoil, and every case illustrates what occurs when a superstar meets a street mindset. Cardi B's legal background, which includes defamation, lawsuits, and strip club fights, is like a guide on how to fight your battles in court rather than on the streets. In August 2018, a few months after the encounter at the doctor's office in Beverly Hills, Cardi's most significant legal feud erupted. At the height of her success, the 2018 strip club incident turned into a 4-year legal nightmare that might have led to her being sent to prison. The drama took place at Queen's Angel Strip Club, which Cardi was familiar with from her performing days. Furthermore, the feud was extremely personal. Cardi B discovered that one of the bartenders, Jade, was apparently teasing
Offset
at the strip club. That what's alleged is that she ordered the attack on 2 of the bartenders there because she thought that one of them
had slept with Offset.
Right. So she's been charged with a misdemeanor, I believe it's.
but this was
caused the entire scenario to blow up. However, this was no impromptu altercation on the street. Cardi allegedly offered 5 racks through Instagram direct messages to have someone handle the problem, according to the receipts the prosecutors brought. Later, in August 2018, she acknowledged that she had thrown bottles at the victims on 2 different occasions. When a grand jury in June 2019 charged Cardi B with 14 offenses, including 2 felonies for attempted assault, what had begun as misdemeanor accusations quickly became quite severe. Those were serious felony charges. When her career was just getting started, they could have had her performing upstate real time. The prospect of lengthy incarceration loomed like a threatening cloud over her head. Court delays and back-and-forth plea discussions caused the case to drag on for years. In April 2019, Cardi first rejected a conditional discharge agreement, opting instead to face the allegations head-on. However, she accepted a plea bargain in September 2022, just before jury selection began, to avoid county prison by admitting to 2 misdemeanors and agreeing to 15 days of community service. However, Cardi B demonstrated that she wasn't merely playing defense in the courtroom. A strong offense can occasionally be the best defense. With a huge $4.05 million victory, her defamation action against YouTuber Tasha K became one of the most talked about celebrity legal battles in recent memory, sending a message to anybody considering distributing false information. Kibi, also known online as Tasha K, published more than 20 videos between 2018 and 2019 containing outrageous claims on Cardi B's past. The feud began. This was more than just rumors. Tasha K was accusing Cardi of cheating on Offset.
She didn't like an interview that I did with a former stripper friend of hers who said a lot of things that she did and they did together, right? And she had made some allegations, but social media had already been making them allegations, you know, about her sexual health and all that you know? And yeah, that interview did 5 million views because she responded.
Using deception, having sexually transmitted diseases like herpes and HPV, and abusing cocaine, Cardi's character and bread were being severely damaged by these accusations. Cardi's moving testimony about how these lies impacted her mental health was what made her win so heartwarming. Cardi stated during the trial in January 2022 that the rumors were causing her to have worry, marriage issues, and suicide thoughts. In addition to interfering with her business dealings, the jury convicted Tasha K of defamation, invasion of privacy, and purposeful infliction of emotional distress. $1.25 million for general damages, $250,000 for medical costs, $1.5 million for punitive damages, and $1.3 million for legal fees made up the $4.05 million judgment. But when Tasha K filed for bankruptcy, in an attempt to avoid paying, claiming she only had $3.4 million in assets versus the $4 million she owed.
Man, it was, first of all, I wasn't paying attention to my case. You know, I hired lawyers that were fresh out of college.
I heard their legal team was not great.
And that she had to employ inexpensive lawyers. Collecting that money became even more of a challenge. These significant instances weren't the only legal issues Cardi faced. She and Offset were the targets of a property damage lawsuit in 2020 from some Beverly Hills property owners who said the couple damaged their rental during a music video shoot, causing $50,000 in damages. According to the proprietors, they violated the terms of the rental agreement by using the location for unapproved commercial filming, leaving behind damaged furniture and discolored walls. Another aspect of Cardi's entrepreneurial attitude and legal approach was revealed by the trademark game. Her trademark Occur was attempted to be trademarked by the U.S. in July 2019. The Patent and Trademark Office closed it, stating that it was too widespread to be solely associated with her brand.
Hey. Every time I go do a commercial, hey, can you finish it off with a You think I ain't gonna profit off this? White folks do it all the times.
Her legal demonstrated that even when individuals have boundaries when it comes to using common language. Her legal troubles also included minor feuds that demonstrated the difficulties of being in the public eye. Although no official charges were brought against Cardi, she received criticism for reportedly threatening paparazzi in New York in 2021. Her tumultuous relationship with Offset also played out in court, when divorce proceedings were filed in September 2020, later withdrawn, and then filed again in August 2024 after additional accusations of infidelity were made.
Thank you for my kids, though. All 3 of them. I don't regret none of them. But I regret you. I don't regret my kids. You're good, Daddy. You alright. I don't regret them. None of them. None of them. You. I regret you.
What's really connection between Cardi's legal history and her commercial dealings and personal connections is what makes it so bizarre. While the Tasha K lawsuit was about protecting her reputation from accusations that typically featured her husband's alleged side pieces, the strip club case was directly related to marital turmoil with Offset. The trend demonstrated how her personal issues continued to influence her work-related issues. The court cases demonstrated Cardi's calculated strategy for defending her reputation and managing her story. She continuously retaliated through the legal system rather than allowing unfavorable rumors to spread. This tough legal approach fit her personality, forthright, unyielding, and willing to scrap when needed, whether she was defending against unfounded accusations or pursuing those she believed had over the line. Despite all of these court challenges, Cardi's career continued to grow. According to industry observers, throughout all of her legal troubles, Shorty continued to drop incredible songs. This demonstrated that her conflicts either didn't matter to her fan base or that they really helped her come off as more real and approachable. Cardi B most likely spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on legal bills for all of these cases. However, she appeared to believe that these costs were essential for preserving her control over her story and safeguarding her reputation. In particular, the Tasha K lawsuit's success made it abundantly evident to would-be detractors what happens when you try to manipulate her reputation and finances. But we must go back to the beginning to truly see how Cardi B got to be the kind of person who inspires such fervent devotion and legal action. Before the legal drama, before the Grammy speeches, before the million-dollar lawsuits, before the chart-topping records, she had an amazing journey from the New York strip clubs to the top of the rap game, from stripper to superstar. In the Bronx, Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar was just another young shorty attempting to make a living on the streets. One of the most authentic come-up stories in hip-hop. History is the tale of how she became Cardi B. It was a journey that began in the most improbable of settings and included decisions that would make her the unrepentant queen she is today. Cardi B was born in Washington Heights, Manhattan. On October 11, 1992, she grew up in a multicultural family with a Trinidadian mother and a Dominican father. She experienced all the hardships of urban life while growing up in the South Bronx's Highbridge neighborhood, including poverty, violence, and a lack of chances. Bacardi, which matched the name of her sister Hennessy, gave her the moniker, and that particular detail would become a part of Cardi B's legend. Cardi's journey to success began with some of the most difficult periods in her early life.
My name come from, you know what, my sister name is Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? My sister name is Hennessy, right? So everybody used to call me Bacardi. So I always call myself Bacardi, right? And then it was my Instagram name, like Bacardi B.
Cardi was ensnared in a toxic relationship with an abusive partner at the age of 19. Following her termination as a clerk at a grocery store in Tribeca, the situation was downright hazardous. Crammed into a bedroom with 2 pit bulls, she was forced to live with his mother and endured daily aggression that endangered not just her safety, but also her future.
I was poor as hell. I was living with my ex-boyfriend that was beating my ass. I had to drop out of school. I was like, living with his mama, 2 pit bulls in a bedroom. It was crazy.
Sometimes you have to make decisions that other people won't comprehend when you're in survival mode and have few other options. Cardi decided to start dancing at strip clubs like Satin Dolls in Manhattan under the alias Camila because she was desperate to leave the domestic abuse and had nowhere else to go. The decision was empowering and sensible. She was saving every penny of her $20,000 savings. By the age of 21, in order to invest in her future, in other words, stripping was her lifesaver. Yes, what do you know? But it did. Cardi has never pretended to be ashamed or regret decisions that practically saved her life, and she has always been very honest about her experience in the strip club industry. She frequently highlighted in interviews how the experience improved her stage presence, confidence, and financial self-control. She challenged society's perception of sex work and women, using their bodies for financial gain by working with women who became mentors and taught her how to be strong and self-reliant. However, life in the strip club wasn't just about wealth and self-determination.
You wanna know something? Like, I feel like a lot of people want me to lie and be like, I hated it. I went through so much things. I don't recommend it. I don't tell girls to go do it. Yeah. But it's just like I'm not even gonna front. It really saved me. Like, it really saved me.
Cardi has been open about how her self-image was impacted by her job there and how it influenced her decision to make body alterations that she would later come to regret.
I don't have no fat there. So I was like, yep.
How was it? Like, was it a scary experience for you, or?
It wasn't such a scary experience until like I got on the table and like I felt so dizzy, like I was about to pass out and everything.
Illicit butt injections in New York City and breast implants in the Dominican Republic as a result of the pressure to look a specific way in order to maximize her income. The brutal realities of the strip club hustle, where your purse was directly impacted by your physical attractiveness, were represented in the cosmetic operations. Since then, Cardi B has apologized for some of her decisions, especially the butt shots, citing the health hazards and the pressure to fit in with what fans wanted to see. Cardi began sharing her daily life and opinions on social media while earning money as a dancer. Her uncensored comments on everything from politics to relationships, delivered in her genuine Bronx dialect and seasoned with expressions like regular degula, shmegula. Gurr began garnering a sizable following on Vine and Instagram. Audiences, weary of phony-created social media, celebrities found resonance in her unvarnished honesty and willingness to talk about subjects that most people shunned. When Cardi joined VH1's Love and Hip Hop, New York for seasons 6 and 7, she made the leap from social media star to reality TV star in 2015. She was a fan favorite because of her audacious demeanor and catchy one-liners. While she worked on moving from the club to the studio, the show provided her with a platform to show off her personality to an even larger audience. Despite the fact that many of the more renowned musicians on the show had doubts about her musical ability, drama, disputes with other cast members, and captivating plotlines characterized her stint on Love and Hip Hop. However, it also demonstrated her financial acumen and will to succeed in the rap industry. Cardi skillfully used the platform, departing after 2 seasons to fully concentrate on her music career, despite the doubts of industry veterans. Gangsta Bitch Music Volume is a mixtape. 1 in 2016 involved, 2 in 2017 demonstrated her ability to deliver stories and flow aggressively. However, when Bodak Yellow was released in June 2017, everything was different. Cardi became the first solo female rapper since Lauryn Hill in 1998. and the song became a cultural sensation that had everyone talking and peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks.
I already feel like a winner.
Yeah, you already
You
are.
know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I never thought me.
I feel like a winner already. Yes, you understand what I'm saying already, because this makes me feel like I never thought of myself. Bodak Yellow's success was unheard of, and it made Cardi a formidable force in hip-hop. Her transition from strip club to superstar was aptly encapsulated in the song's lyrics, particularly the well-known phrase, "I don't dance now, I make money moves." The song became an anthem for women who work hard to achieve their own success and financial gain on their own terms.
It does feel good, and it feels good because, you know, I really worked my ass off for it, and it's just like, it finally pays off. I have been proven.
It feels good because, well, I worked really hard for it, and it's good to see it finally pay off. The speaker said, "I have been validated." Her 2018 debut album, Invasion of Privacy, which garnered critical praise and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, continuing her popularity. Collaborations on the album with well-known musicians like Migos, Chance the Rapper, Bad Bunny, and J Balvin showed her versatility across linguistic and cultural divides. She maintained her unique urban edge while showcasing her Latin roots in songs like I Like It. Her quick rise to fame was capped off in 2019 when she became the first solo female rapper to win a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Her speech of heartfelt acceptance, which she gave while clearly overwhelmed.
When I found out I was pregnant, my album was not complete. I had like 3 songs that I was for sure having, and then you know how it was. Like we was like, we have to get this album done so I could shoot these videos while I'm still not showing.
The speech highlighted the enormity of her accomplishment and the improbable character of her path. The difficulties she encountered while recording the album while pregnant, racing against the clock to finish recordings and shoot videos before her pregnancy became apparent, were also discussed in the address. A recurrent motif in her career narrative was her commitment to her work, despite juggling personal obstacles. Cardi B's transition from stripper to Grammy winner questioned conventional ideas of success and legitimacy in the music business. To some, she was a feminist icon, but to others, she was controversial because she refused to erase her past or follow the norms for female celebrities. She refused to feel guilty about the decisions that had finally brought her success, and she said that her time in the strip club had been worthwhile and influential. Thank you for viewing. If you enjoyed it, click on one of the recommended videos that is currently displayed on your screen to continue the trip and see more incredible material, music,